Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tiano StoreyHausBooks, and it is Sunday, Series Sunday. Dun, da, da, da. We're back with our recreate Grungy Folio. We are going to just go ahead and jump right in. This is part, shoot, 4 or 5? I don't remember, but it'll be in the title, whatever part this is. Let's see. So far, we have got up to a little bit of decorating. We got some pockets in. We got some flaps in, but we went ahead and put in all of the actual flips. Yeah, they're all in. So now we have to go in and start working on the flaps, right? And if you'll notice, I went in and wrote in pencil what I plan to put on each one. Now, you don't have to do that. I'm just doing it so I remember what I did in the other one, so I don't have to keep going back to it and looking it up, right? So let's go ahead and start. We're going to just work our way from left to right and start over here. So far on panel number 1, we've got these pockets here, a pocket here. I'm actually going to add a tab here, I believe. And here, I think I'm going to add a tab here also. Just to make sure that the person who gets this knows that that's a pocket. Because it's not easily discernible, right? Same thing over here. I'm gonna actually probably put a tab here, a small one over here, like, you know, kind of offset. And then add that other second pocket here. Here we're going to be doing some faux stacked pockets, meaning it looks like 3 stacked pockets that are only about, like, you know, that deep. When in fact, the top one runs the entire length of the flap, the second one from here to here, and then the third one from there to there. It's called faux stacked because it looks like they're stacked, but they're really not. They're all, like, you know, all connected at the bottom. Then hopefully we'll get to this one. This is over here. We're going to put 2 envelopes with mini pockets on the front of those, and here we're going to do these actual stacked 6 pockets here, okay? And that will be panel number 1. Let's see for how far we get, though, okay? So let's go ahead and get started with, I didn't grab my papers. Hold on one second. All right, I got my papers close by, so we're gonna, I haven't picked anything out yet, so we are gonna be using Tim Holtz, the backdrops. Could be from any set. I'm also gonna be using the Abandoned paper pack, as well as the Rev and Rust from 49 in Market, right? So that is, I'm sorry, it's called Rust and Revs, actually. Rust and Revs, and it's 2.0. There are actually 2 versions of this. Uh-oh, things are falling. Things are falling. Hold one second, please. Things are falling. I gotta prop things up. Okay, so again, we're going to be using Tim Holtz backdrops in many of the different volumes. Tim Holtz's Abandoned, that came out from the vault, and this one here as well. This is from 49 in Market here. This is Rev and Rust version 2.0. There are 2 versions of this, okay? Very similar but very different. I'm using 2.0. I like it better. All right, the item number is right here. Item number RR2-31478. They still have it, okay? I need to order another pack before they're all gone myself. So I'll be using that as well. I think that is all the paper packs I'm going to be using for now, okay? So let's just pick something. Since they all kind of go together, like I did in my the last one that this is inspired by, I randomly picked stuff. I just tried not to get too hung up on it, right? So for this one, I'm gonna do nope, too close. Let's see, what do we got here? We got a stack of papers. Nope. How about, I want some contrast, right? That's too much. With the orange. I think the orange, or maybe the green marble. I love this one. Yep, that's the one. Okay, so we're going to make a shallow pocket here. All right. So I'm going to grab my handy dandy measuring tape here. See how much room I'm working with. Alright, I'm going to go end to end, and I'm not going to put a gusset on this one. It's going to be a flat pocket, so we're going to go 9, and it looks like a little under 9.5. I'm good with that, and we're going to go about, let's just go up 2 inches. So 2 inches by, I'm going to say 9 3/4. I'm sorry, 9 3/8. 9 3/8 by 2 inches. Okay? Let's grab our, where is it? My paper trimmer. Too much stuff down here by my feet. And I'm just going to do this up against my table. You guys don't need to see me do this. So 2 inches wide, yeah? Because we're not going to put a gusset on it. Actually, let's do 2 1/4. 2 1/4. 2 1/4 wide by 9 3/8. 9 3/8. That's 1, 2, and 3. Let's see if that fits. And it does. Good. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all the pieces that we're going to work on tonight, and then I'm going to go sew them off camera and bring them back. I don't want to keep going up and down, right? So let's grab our black soot and distressed ink. Let's go ahead and ink this. Actually, let me cut my notch also. Should I do a notch or should I do a tab? I think I want to do a tab on this, actually. I want to do a tab on it, because I'm doing a tab here, so it makes sense to do one on the second pocket, right? And we'll come back and do the tabs later on, because I want to do like a episode just on tab clusters, or page tabs, yeah? Alright, so there's one piece right there, okay? Over here, we're going to do the faux stack pockets. So I want 3 types of paper here for this one. So I think, let me see what I'm working with here as far as space. There's the fold. There's the fold right there. So I'm going to go right up to the fold, or close to it. And I want to stay inside the stitching on this one, I believe. So that gives us, let's say 5 1/4, yeah? 5 1/4 wide. And then we'll work with the width, or the length, here in a minute. So like that. Scrap we can use. Ooh. Another scrap we can use, that goes with it. And how about some contrast? We got that orange happening there, so something to bring out the orange would be cool. Either like that. That or the orange marble. I think I'm going to go with this new Tim Holtz paper here. It's a pattern I hadn't seen before. Just for giggles. Why not? It's grungy, let's go grunge. Right? Alright, what did I say? 5 1/2 or did I say 5? I don't remember. I said 5 1/4. That's what I said. 5 1/4. Okay, let's do 5 1/4 wide, and then we'll decide on length for each pocket. So, let's see this. How much have I got to work with here? Let's say 9 1/2, because we're going to tear them too. So 9 1/2 long, 5 1/4 wide. And we are going to put gussets on them, so we have to add a 1/2 inch on either side, right? Okay, so this is going to be the top one. And I'm just going to mark with a pencil where I want to cut it. I'm going to go to right here. Okay? And however long you want it is kind of up to you. Just make sure you stay within your parameters there. And then I'll do this one right about here. And we'll cut this one here. Right about there. This one will go there. And they'll look stacked, but they won't be. So I'm going to cut this one. I want it to be this long. So, what do these marks mean? That's how long I want it to look. So when I cut it, I want to actually add a 1/2 inch to the bottom for the flap on only this bottom one. The rest of them are not going to have the bottom. It's going to be open. Okay? Only add a 1/2 inch to this line here. Alright? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut to the correct width, which is 5 1/4. And then we're going to add a 1/2 inch on either side, right? So how much is that total? So 5 1/4 plus 1/2 inch on each side, which is an inch, right? So 5 1/4 plus an inch would be 6 1/4, okay? So 6 1/4 is what we're looking for the top one, okay? And then I'm going to cut right at the line, because we don't need a bottom gusset, since we're going to keep it open. That's our top piece. The middle piece, same thing, 6 1/4 wide. Oh, we can't do that. We don't know why. Because these pages are only 6 inches wide. So, I have to do it this way. So let me remeasure where I want to cut it now. So if I had to go this way with it, I want it to be, oh, let's just pick a spot. Right there. I'll cut it right there. Again, remember, you don't have to worry about the gusset for this one. The bottom gusset, rather. Only the side gussets. Now, where is that mark? There it is. I keep losing my pencil mark. Okay, and then we're going to cut it 6 1/4 wide as we turn the paper. You can do that now. All right. And then for the final piece, okay, we're going to cut this one at 6 1/4 wide. And then we're going to add a 1/2 inch to the line we made down here, okay? So, I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to add 1/2 inch. So this is here. And I'm going to add that much. Alright, so this one actually ends up coming out to be 3 1/2. Deep. There. Alright. Now these are going to be torn pockets. Okay, so before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and score them. And then place them and see how they look. Where's my scoreboard? Alright. I have to leave to go pick up my daughter in about half an hour, so this is going to be not a short video. I'm going to actually do it, you know, pause and then come back. But you won't notice because I've gotten better at my editing skills. Alright, so this is the top part here, right? Isn't it? Or did I want to do this bottom one? How did I want? I forgot which order I wanted to do it in. This way. Yeah, this is the top one. So, we're going to score 1/2 inch on either side, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 1/2 inch. That's the top, so it doesn't need a bottom scoring. A bottom score. The middle one, same deal. 1/2 inch on either side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks really long. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks really wide. I'm gonna get there. Okay. And the bottom piece is going to get 1/2 inch on this side. I'm going to make it a little easier on myself. 1/2 inch on this side. And then wherever the bottom is, we're going to go ahead and make the bottom score because that's where we're going to close the pockets off. Okay, I'm going to put this to the side for a moment and work on these pockets. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and tear our pockets, however we want it. Remember to tear away from yourself so you don't see the white core of the paper. But you don't have to tear it if you don't want to. Keep it straight, put a notch, put a tab, whatever you want. I want torn pockets. Okay. That's my bottom. Here's my middle. Oops. Alright. Now we are going to cut or miter our pockets. All right. So if you remember, we're going to cut at the entrance right up here. We're going to cut. Where's my fold? Yeah, there it is. Couldn't see it for a second. I'm going to cut towards the fold there at an angle. Get rid of that. Now, this is the top one. We actually don't have to miter the bottom part, right? You can if you want, but you don't have to. And this is the bottom, so this is the middle. So again, just add an angle at the entrance on both sides where you scored, right? Now the bottom one, you're going to do that at the entrance, just like we just did on the first two. And then at the bottom, right, we're going to go in and add an angle towards the intersection of the two score marks, and then out from that intersection. Same thing on both sides. Into the intersection, and then out at an angle, right? So it should look like this. The bottom pocket. You have these cuts here, and these cuts here. The two top pieces will look like this, with just the cuts right here. Yeah? So once we fold it and place them, you'll see what I'm talking about. Excuse me 1 second. Okay, let's go ahead and fold at our scores for these pockets. I don't know why I grabbed the middle one. Alright, that's middle, here's top. There we go. And here is the bottom. And then the bottom of the pocket. Yeah? Alright, so once we stack them up, they should look like this. You know we have 9 inches, so let's just put it right here at 10. And bring this down a bit. And here's what it's going to look like on the page. So it looks like you have 3 separate pockets. Well, in fact, you have this pocket's open at the bottom, so is this one. So they're actually that deep, this deep, and then this is the actual pocket where it ends, right? So this pocket here serves as the bottom for all 3 pockets. Make sense? All right, let's go ahead and ink this one. Did I ink the bottom of this one? I did. I think I want to just do some more. It doesn't look dirty enough. Not dirty enough. Here we go. Okay, let's start with the top here. Now you're going to notice I'm going to do some streaking with my inking at the entrance. It just gives it a little more texture and a little shadowing there. Looks like it's kind of crinkled up and folded at the entrance. Again, not required. You don't have to do that. And obviously you don't have to ink the bottom either, because we won't see that. And ink as much or as little as you'd like, or not at all. Okay, again, to the top here. Then I'm going to do some streaking. I just do it with the edge of my dauber. And see, it gives a little bit of, I don't know if you can see that with the glare, but a little bit of shadowing around the entrance, right? All right. And here's the bottom pocket. We will actually ink all 4 sides of this one. Alright, and there are our 3 pockets. I'm going to go ahead and sew these 3. and come back and we'll attach these, okay? Okay, and we're back. All right, I went ahead and sewed the edges here, or around the sides of these pockets. Let's go ahead and attach real quick, and then I'm going to pause and come back and go pick up my daughter's work. All right, so this pocket's going to go here, and I want the threading up here up top. I am going to cut the inside threading because I'm gluing that part down. So by doing so, it reduces the risk of somebody snagging these threads and pulling the pocket right off the page, right? So the threads that end on this side I'm cutting off, these I'm keeping. And I'm going to use Fabri Tac. Okay, we're going to use that top part as the entrance. So here we go. Okay. A little stringy on me here. All right, watch your threads so they don't get glued underneath, and then just line it up. I'm going to glue it inside the threads on the underside pocket here. Right there, so I want to see that threading there. And I'm just going to press down here. Okay. Make sure that's nice and flat, even. And then I'm going to give it a little smush up at the entrance, just a little, so it's not totally flat. Okay? Let this even here. There we go. Alright. I think we're good. I'm going to let that set and not play with it too much. Alright. Next one's here. Tell you what time it is. Alright, I've got 10 minutes before I gotta run. Alright. Let's go ahead and this is the bottom, right? Yeah, bottom, top. So we're gonna go here, here, and then here. Right? Come down a little bit further. Make sure that this entrance covers the bottom of that pocket. Right? And this one will cover here. Okay. Let's give these another, oh no, a quick burnish here on the folds. Since we ran it through the sewing machine, it kind of flattened them out a little bit. Alright, and for this one I'm going to use our glitter. Come on, here we go. And watch your threads there. I'm going to put this one right about here. I think that's good. Is that even? Yeah, okay. Looks even to me. Just going to push that down. Okay. Let that set. Take the middle one and do the same thing. Oop, that one's coming up. I have to use Fabri Tac on that side just because it's over that threading. I think I will. Let's switch to Fabri Tac here. Alright, let's do the middle. Let's go ahead and use Fabri Tac on this one as well. Just save us some time. Okay, and this one we're going to go here. Just make sure you cover the bottom of this pocket just enough. Yeah. Line it up. There we go. That should hopefully be even. Yeah. Okay. Alright. And then the final one here. Alright. And Fabri Tac here. Not going to the edge with my glue. Remember that. Alright. Get to the bottom pocket here. Line it up. Watch your threads. Make sure you cover that bottom of the pocket above it, right? And make sure this is even. Yep, I think we're good. It looks covered to me. Okay, just let this set. Right. Okay. I think we are good on our pockets. Might do a little more inking here just to for a couple white spots here that came through while we were stitching. No big whoop. Taken care of. Alright, let's let that set before we play with it too much. And there we go. I'm gonna pause right here, and I'm gonna come back, and we're gonna continue working. I'm gonna pick up my daughter from work, and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, I'm back. So here's where we are. Well, right now I'm screwing with my camera. Sorry. Making sure I'm in frame, right? All right, so here's where we left off. Where the was this side flat pocket here, and these faux stacked pockets here. Now remember that the reason they're called faux stacked pockets because they look like they're stacked, 3 individual pockets, but when in fact this pocket, not being this deep, but in fact it goes the entire length of this page, right? Same thing for this one. It goes all the way down to the bottom, and then this one stops right there. Okay, so that's how you do those. Let me see if I need to pop these a little bit. Plenty of room there for you to put as much as you would like in these, yeah? Then we have our pocket over here as well. We have another pocket right here in this envelope, okay? We're going to put tabs here to make sure we easily identify those later on. Let's move into the next section here. So we've got over here, we're going to put a tab up here as well. But we're going to do 2 envelopes with mini pockets here and here. So let's pick out some paper, yeah? So, sticking with the just Tim Holtz and Rev and Rust pages, and again, I'm just randomly grabbing out of this pile. So I've got a lot of the Tim Holtz that I picked out, and I really love this green. So I'm gonna grab that one, and then let's grab something from. I don't want to use a 12 by 12 on an envelope. Let's stick with the 6 by 6s. So we got that green. How about we go with... Do 2 greens? Nah, let's mix it up a little bit. Do 2 different kind of greens. How about that and that? There we go, like that. So we have an envelope here, an envelope here, yeah? And these are going to be our standard envelopes, right? So, what do I mean by standard? Well, the ones you see me make on a pretty regular basis. That uses the entire 6 by 10 backdrop, yeah? So what do we need? We need our scoreboard. We don't need our paper trimmer because we're going to use the whole thing. The whole thing. All we need to do is decide which side is going to be the outside. So this one is obviously going to be the outside. So we're going to flip it over. And then we're going to do 1/2 inch scores on either side, lengthwise. Yeah, that's it for scoring. We will be using our Big Shot die cut. We will be using my envelope dies in this as well. before we get to all that, let's go ahead and fold our score marks here. These are the gussets of our envelopes. Just love this green. This is one of my favorite Tim Holtz papers. This one too, like that oily effect, like oil and water almost. But I love, this is one of my favorites. I usually buy this particular pack. I think it's volume 2, maybe volume 1 of the backdrops. Literally for this one. One of my favorites. Alright, so now we're going to fold up our envelope. Now, if you have a directional paper, meaning, like this is directional, like this is right side up, okay? If you have directional paper, you're going to want to make sure that you fold it so everything's right side up. So if this was the one I was using, I would fold it this way. So this side would be right up, and when I fold the top flap down, it's still right side up. Yeah? Understand what I'm saying? So, again, if you're using directional paper, make sure when you fold it that you're going in the right direction. If that's a thing that you care about. If you don't care, then don't worry about it. Alright, so we're going to double check how much space I got to work with to determine the height of our envelopes. Let's just double check our height of our page, because I always forget. Because I change heights sometimes to make things fit. I call it adjusting, adapting, right? So, what do we have to work with here? We've got, let's say 9.5. Sounds about right. So each envelope should be no taller than 4 3/4, right? Right. So we got a lot of room to work with. So that would be about from here to here. Okay. So I'm gonna fold this right about here. Just press that down here. And then before I do the top flap, I'm going to leave a little bit of space between the entrance and the fold of the top of the envelope flap, yeah? Maybe about less than half an inch, more than 1/4 inch. So right about there. I'm going to leave that much space. Fold this down. Make sure your sides are even before you fold. And you'll notice here, I've left, where this is with a fold, I've left about this much room. Not that much room. That much room. Between the fold and the entrance. It allows an easy entry, and you don't really necessarily even have to do a notch there if you do it that way. Okay? So, that's one. That should fall within our 4 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4. So that gives us plenty of space for the other pocket to fit and open. Alright, same deal. I'm going to fold this up. And I've done this so often I can pretty much eyeball these. But if you want to measure or use my measurements, this is 3.5. Okay? So you can probably go a little bit taller. Let's go up to 4-ish. Yeah. Alright, make sure your sides are nice and even. And then again, leave a little bit of a gap between the entrance and your fold of your flap. And this one falls in with the range, 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4. Alright, so there we go. Yeah? Alright, so that's our base of our envelope. Now we're going to get into the mitering of it. Uh-oh, this isn't even. Hold on one second. See how that's off center? So let's fix that. It could be my score marks were off, which is very possible. There we go. You don't want that sticking out, right? That's much better. There we go. Alright, next part we're going to miter, which means we do some cutting and get rid of some of this bulk, right? So grab your scissors. You're going to open up your envelope. Okay, open up all the flaps, yeah? Then fold at the flaps right across. Why? Because you want to see where the intersection of these folds are and this fold is, which is right here. Okay, right there, where these two intersect. We're going to cut there. Going to cut a little carrot at an angle to that intersection point on either side of this line. Yeah? That's it. That's what you want to do. And you do that at every intersection. Be 2 on each side. Like that. Flip it around, do it again. Rinse and repeat. This allows your pocket to lay nice and flat. Yeah? And this is our entrance. Okay, if you fold it back up, this is our entrance. We're going to miter right here at this little piece right here. At an angle towards the top there. Yeah? Of the fold. So it looks like that. Right? So now, once you fold everything in, it lays nice and flat. Look at that. Hardly any bulk to that, just by cutting out those pieces. See? Yeah? Alright, let's do this one. Same thing. We'll open it all the way up. Fold it to your horizontal folds there. And then cut your carrots out. Triangles, pyramids, whatever you want to call them. Out. Cut at an angle towards the intersection. Then you want to cut at your entrance here. You want to miter that at an angle. Again, rinse and repeat. Yes? Alright, now let's go ahead and give these a little burnish, because I am going to use my die cut machine next. Why? Because I'm going to cut this flap to shape versus just cutting it at an angle. Then we're going to do some sewing, but before we do that, I want to make some more pieces and then take it all stuff over to the sewing machine. Okay, so these are the envelopes. Let's get our die cut machine out and shape these flaps with some dies, yeah? You guys have seen me do this before. Let me reach under my table here and grab my die cut machine. Alright, this is my Sizzix Big Shot. It actually folds up, but I don't bother folding it up because I use it so often. Alright, let's pull this out here. I have dire need of new cutting plates too. Open this little storage unit here, and I'm going to go for this one here for my flap, and then I think I'll do something a little different. I don't want it to be too I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, too wavy or too lace-like looking. So I'm going to go for this flap, this plain flap here, but it'll have some embossing and stitching on it right there. So I'm going for this one. Alright, put the plates in. I'm going to grab this, and this is the flap here that I'm going to actually cut. I need some tape. Do I have my... Yes, I got a whole drawer washi tape, Tiana. Duh. Just grab one. Jiminy Christmas. I keep forgetting I have like a little tower over there of washi tapes that I don't even use. I do need to purge some things. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm grabbing a piece of washi tape so that will hold my die on my envelope to keep it from shuffling around. So I think I'm going to use this one here. So, let me make sure I'm in frame. You guys see what I'm doing? Yeah. So just center it up. If you're doing this. If you're not, just cutting at an angle, then you can skip through this part. But I'm using my washi tape to hold it down or hold it stable as it goes through the machine. And you also want to make sure to have these flaps folded in. These flaps here folded in so they get cut as well, okay? You don't want them sticking out like this. Alright, so you want them folded under. Put that in your die cut machine with the top plate. And there we go. Move my glue out of the way. And I'm just going to roll it back through. It doesn't need to go all the way through because we're only cutting that end, right? Lift that up and carefully peel away the washi tape and the die. And there we go. So we see here's the cut. It's got a little bit of an embossing seam right there, which is nice, right? There's one. Let's grab the other die here, which is this one here. And we're going to fold our flaps in, right, before we tape on the die, right? So let's grab our die and a piece of washi tape. Da, 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 da. Alright. And here we go. We're going to center this up the best we can. Now don't worry if it's longer than or wider than your envelope. Just center it and you'll be fine. Yeah? You center it as best you can. It's not happy perfect. It's not perfect. So what? It's junk journal. It's handmade. It's supposed to have imperfections. What gives it character? Yeah? Sure, Tiana, why not? Yeah, why not? That's why I'm going with it. It's my story, I'm sticking to it. Alright, let's put our envelope in between the cutting plates. And we'll roll that through. Oh, there goes another crack. And there we go. Lift that up. Peel that away. Be careful not to peel or tear your paper from the washi, because sometimes it will stick. And there we go. Nicely cut. Yeah? peel that off, put this in the bin. And I'm going to put these back in the little storage compartment this thing has. I use these so often it doesn't make any sense to put them back with the rest of my dies. Speaking of dies, I've misplaced my little grid die that we used a couple weeks ago. Cannot find it. The one that makes the larger version of these, no idea where it is. So, I actually got one I'm going to order from Amazon after I go through this car repair, which is scaring me to death, mind you, how much it's going to come back as. Because most of you know, or anybody knows, that anytime you take your car to a dealership, you're looking at a hefty repair bill, and I'm actually scared, y'all, what we're gonna do if it comes back and it's an arm and a leg. We're gonna be in a pretty bad shape as far as getting to school and to our jobs, and we'll be able to do that. Anywho, so wish us luck. Hope everything works out. Maybe we'll get lucky at the simple fix. Alright, now what I'm going to do is, am I going to sew this? Am I going to stitch it? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I mean, I could. I don't want to. We will. I think I'm going to do a straight stitch on these. Alright, so here are our envelopes folded up. Right? And I'm going to put these to the side because I want to do some stitching. A lot of stitching together, but let's make sure this fits before we get before we move on. Let's go in here and size it, make sure that, or fit it, make sure it fits on the page, and we are good to go. And I think I'll actually do it this way. This one's a little bit smaller, just a hair smaller, but I think I like this way. So here's going to be our envelopes here. Then we're going to put mini pockets on the front. Craziness, you say? No, not craziness. We're going to do it. But not until after we stitch. So, let's put this aside. No. What's the next thing we're going to make? So those are the envelopes for this inside page. Over here is the 6-pocket stack. I'm trying to remember how I did it. So there's a stack pocket, then there'll be a coin envelope, a torn, narrow envelope, another one here, a wider one here, and then I'm using a large piece of ephemera, like a large label, to make another tiny pocket there. Right? So, let's see. How did I do this? Alright, let's look at some paper here. I want to get into this rev and rust that we haven't really used yet. So, let's pull out this one. Yeah, I like that one. Let's pull out this one. And we're going to use a pre-made one that I got from the Dollar Tree. Grunge it up a little bit if I can find one. Over here in my big mess of stuff. Hold, please. I know I've got some, I just gotta find one. Here we go. One of these guys. So we're gonna go here, here, here. That's 3. Let's bring out, how about this one? It's starting to get a little muddy. There's some color. Ooh, I like that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there's one long one this way. See the small pieces we got over here from Mr. Tim Holtz. That's some more. Ooh, I like this, where this is going. Okay, so got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the 6th one is going to be just a large label. So, or a piece of scrap, which we have lots of over here. So you can use a large label, something, you know, about that big, just to go in the front as a small pocket. So once we get these on, I'll decide which scrap or, oh my god, you guys, I just happened to look over, and what do I see underneath a pile of paper? The die that I thought I lost. Yay! Okay, now what am I going to do with this? So I don't lose it. I'm going to put it in my die cut box. How about that? Right there. There. Alright. Moving on. Okay. So if I remember correctly, the first pocket here went the width of the panel. It is the side. Width of a panel, and it went about right here. Okay, so let's make some marks. I'm gonna grab, where'd my pencil go? Pencil, right here. I'm gonna use this darker side of the page, not the light side. And I want it to go to the edge. Here's our folds, here and here. So obviously we want to stay within these fold lines here, right? And we gotta make sure we have a gusset, so we have to have that extra ½ inch on either side. So, if I want my, why don't I just measure it? Make this a lot simpler. Let's just measure it and see what we're working with here. Let's say we're going to go from here to here. Let's say 5 3/4. So 5 3/4 is what we have. We need to add a ½ inch to each side for our flap, which means this is 5 3/4. We're going to go to 6 3/4. Yes? All right. And I want it to go down to right about here. So I'm going to mark it there. And then I'm going to add a ½ inch when I go to cut it. Okay? So, grabbing, what did I say? Did I say 5 1/4 or 5 3/4 wide? I don't remember. I say things, my short-term memory sucks. Okay, 5 3/4 will work. Okay, so 6 3/4 wide. Alright, let's cut this baby. Bad boy here. 6 3/4. I gotta cut off the label first or it won't fit in my cutter. Get that out of here. Get out of here. Alright, so 6 1/4 wide, right? Or was it 5 3/4? I forgot again. Oh my god, I'm a big old boob. 5 3/4. 6 3/4. Dang it. 6 3/4 wide. Please. Alright. Alright, then I gotta find my pencil mark and add a ½ inch, right? So, my pencil mark is at right at 4 1/2. I'm gonna add a ½ inch to make it 5. So this pocket measures 6 3/4 by 5. Yeah? That's our top one. Okay. Next. What was the one we said we're going to do next? The next one's going to be this guy right here. Then we're going to use this guy right here. So this pocket, if I remember correctly, is torn. It's a torn pocket. And we're going to put this one, that one goes there, and that will be torn. This one goes here to this one. And this one we're actually going to I'm going to put it up like this. Now, why wouldn't I just make one versus using this? I bet you I had one that I had already grunged up and I wanted to use it. So we're not doing that. We're going to make one instead. How about that? We're going to make it out of this. Okay, so we're going to make a coin envelope out of this. And that will go to this side. Then we need one for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So one there. Let's make You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna score this so I can see exactly what I'm working with. Let's score our pocket. Grab out your scoring board and your tool and go ahead and do your ½ inch flaps all the way around, sides and the bottom. Yeah? And then I'm going to go ahead and tear it so I know exactly how big it is. So I'm going to tear away from me. Okay. A white piece off of there. Then I'm going to go ahead and miter at my intersections of my folds. Here, there. See guys what I'm doing at the intersection? At an angle and then out at an angle. Then again up here, at an angle to the fold, which is right where? There it is. I can't really see it. This paper is really thick. At an angle to the fold at your entrance. And the same thing on the other side. Okay, so it looks like this. Cuts here, cuts here, cuts here, cuts here. Yeah? And if I go ahead and fold this, and then I'll see exactly what the size of my pocket and what I'm working with. Alrighty, so that's what we've got right here. That one's going to go there. So when I stack and layer, I like them to just be stacked and layered. But I also like to cover up as much of the back panel as I can. And I kind of like to, you know, I don't just line them up. I get them all off center. Little asymmetrical thing happening, right? So we've got one there. Now let's make the pocket out of this. And we're going to put it here, right? The next pocket will go here. That'll be 3, right? Another pocket will go all the way across as 4. Another pocket will go here, maybe, and then we'll have the 6th one. I may change it up. You know, I do that all the time when I'm working on something. So let's make this one into a coin pocket, a coin envelope type of deal. How do we do that? Well, this is an 8x8 piece. This comes out of, shoot, I think this may have come out of Dapper. I think it did. I think it came out of Dapper. Yeah, this came out of Dapper. Okay, this came out of the Tim Holtz Dapper 8x8s. So we're gonna fold halfway in, roundabout. Yeah, and again, halfway, just to cover the other side. So you got like about a 1/4 of an inch, give or take. Yeah. Then, since I don't want it that big, I'm going to cut it. So, if I want this one here, and I want this one right up here, and we're going to go a little off center here, like right about there, to about here. So let's make a mark, and we're going to cut this, flips up, here. I'm going to cut it about 1 inch from the bottom of this envelope. Why? Because once I flip this bottom up, it'll be right there. You'll see what I mean in a second. Alright, so I'm going to use my cutting board here. I think I got a small one. See if this will cut it. And it did. Squeeze that scrap. Is that what I wanted? Yeah. Okay, so what am I going to do with this? I'm going to fold this up at about 1/2 inch from the bottom. Right? And again, I'm eyeballing it. You can use your scoring board if needed, if necessary. Alright, there is our pocket that's going to go right here. Yeah? So we're going to miter this as well. So from where this fold is, right here, I'm going to cut at an angle towards the center. Same thing on the other side. Towards the center. Then I'm going to open it. And you see this little flap right here? We're cutting it off. But we're not cutting it straight. Let me get my longer pair of scissors here. From this fold right here, we're going to cut it at an angle. Right there. Okay? Same thing for this ugly little flap. We don't need it. Get rid of it. So from the fold, which is right here, so just get even or parallel with the fold, move your scissors at an angle, and cut to this point here. Cut it off. Yeah? So now it looks like this. Okay? You guys still with me? Alright, that's that pocket. What does it look like? I'm going to show you. So when you fold all this in, see how much bulk that gets rid of by getting rid of those 2 little flaps? Simple things like this will decrease your bulk while still giving you plenty of room to pack it in. Yeah? Now that's where I want this one. Am I going to tear it? Why not? Let's tear it. We're going to tear the entrance. So I'm going to open this. Actually, I want to keep it closed so that the tears are even on the front and the back. You won't see the back coming out. And I'm just going to tear away from me while holding this all together. Yeah? And boom. Done. Whoopsie daisy. That's okay though. That's okay, that's okay. We're going to tear that off. There we go. Maybe even out this tear a little bit. There. I'm happy with that. Then, okay, so now we have this pocket here. This one will stack up on top of that one. Yeah? Okay, next one. What did we decide we're going to do? We're going to go with some abandoned, which is right here. And I'm going to bring this color in. This is nice. I like this. So we're going to bring this one in as another one of these. Yeah? And this one's going to come in as a wide pocket. We have another one down here. I believe. That's what I'm going to do. I don't know. I may change my mind. Okay, again. Ooh. That's pretty too. Uh-oh. Dilemma. See, if I did that, then I want to flip this over and go this direction. But I really like that. That's some bronze, but I love this color. Ugh. This is the dilemma of double-sided paper. It's like, what side do you give up to the chopping block, right? That's cool. So is that. But then we get a little muddled because it's all kind of the same color, right? Or same color families. Very neutral. If I do this, this brings in some color. A little bit of green to the fray, right? And then this will tie in nicely with some yellow coming in. Yeah? And then, what else do I want to throw in there? I've got, ooh, that's pretty. Give me that. What is that? We can throw this in there this way. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's work with this first and see where we're going. Ooh. That's cool. This would look cool there. I like this. Here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the label will be 6. Alright, let's get it done. Okay, so we're going to do another one of these. Yeah? So, let's... Oh, God, it's so cool. I love this page. I hope I have another one. Do I? Please tell me I've got another one like this. That'd be so heartbreaking if I don't have another one. I do have another one. Ha 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 ha. I found it. Yay, I got 2. It's so heartbreaking about this paper. I love this abandoned paper. And I've actually paid, I've got the 12 by 12 and I actually paid $55 for it. Because I wanted it so bad. And the vault ones are so far hard to find and people are just jacking up the prices like nobody's business, you know? Which, I mean, what are you going to do, right? Alright, let's fold this into the middle here. And this one will be just overlap about 1/4 of an inch. This is not straight. Still not straight. Come on, Tiana. What are you doing over here? There we go. Alright. Fold this over to where it overlaps about 1/4 of an inch. I wouldn't go any more than that. And we're taking our scoring tool or our bone folder and just giving that a gentle press down, burnish, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so let's talk about placement. I want this one here. I want this one here. I want this one here. Yeah? Yeah, like this. So I'm going to cut this one right about here. Now this kind of stuff is all personal preference, where you want to place it. Yeah? Just keep in mind wherever you place it, wherever you want that pocket to end, if you're going to do it as an envelope versus envelope or pocket, you need that 1/2 inch flap. So this is where I want it to end. Yeah, I'm going to add a 1/2 inch, and again I'm eyeballing. So that right there, that can't be right. It's not. That's in centimeters. So I'm going to eyeball this. So that's where I want it to end. I need a 1/2 inch flap, and that's about a 1/2 inch right there. Okay, put that to the side. Here we go. So here, I'm going to do the same thing I did with this one right here. I'm going to flip it up about 1/2 inch. Give that a little push down. Make sure it's even. Not quite. Push this up a little bit more. There we go. And this one too, I'm also going to tear. So now we have 1, 2, 3. Yeah? This looks good. Okay, who's next? Then we decided we're going to go with some yellow, yeah? Right here. So this pocket, I'm going to make it a wide one all the way across, right? This one, I want it to end right about here. So I'm going to mark that spot. Let's say I want it to end right about here. And then we'll add a 1/2 inch when I cut it. So, if you remember, the width of this one, I want it as wide as this top one, is 5 3/4. And what are we going to add? 1/2 inch on each side, which means this is going to be what? 6 3/4. That's right. So we're going to cut this 6 3/4 wide. Save that. And then we're going to go... Crap, I just cut that off. I just cut my mark off, didn't I? Sure did. I sure did. Sure did. Well, fidgy widgets. It was right about where that little mark is. Okay. So let's just eyeball this. I'm going to cut it right there. Okay, I cut it at 4 inches. So this one is 4 inches by 5 3/4. Okay. Am I going to tear it? Absolutely. Now we got this one, yeah? This one's going to go across right here. Here, here. This one will go here, right? And we'll have another one. Actually, I'm going to do this. Down here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put a pocket on top of here. Yeah? And then a pocket over that. That's what we're going to do. Because I don't want to see the back page. I don't want to see the back part of this. I don't want to see like a little hole like that. That would bug the crap out of me. So you're going up there. You're going here. You're going a little lower. You're going a little lower. Or I do this. Here. Maybe that one. No. My stack pockets. Going there to there. I don't mind seeing the edges. I just don't want to see holes in the middle. There. Then I'm going to put a pocket here. And then a small one here. And that'll cover everything up. Yep. Okay. Scoring tool again. Bring it out. Let's do our flaps on the sides at the bottom. 1/2 inches. 1. 1/2. 1/2. Am I going to tear it? No. Yes. I'm going to tear it. Of course I'm going to freaking tear it. Because I want to. That's why. Okay. In the intersection and out. In the intersection and then out. Alright, then I'm going to tear it. In the bin, and then add an angle to the fold on either side. And we look like this familiar shape, yeah? Alright, then we're going to fold at our score marks. There we go. Now what do we have? We've got this. We've got this. And we've got this. Yes? Now we have this. Okay? This one I want out a little bit. From here. I want this one to go all the way to the fold. This in the center. And then this one in the center. Like this. Yeah? Alright. Now we're going to put one more pocket. Bring everybody up a little bit. A little higher. A little higher. Yeah. Okay. This is what we got so far. I'm going to put another pocket right here. And another small one right here. Yeah? So maybe I will I have a small version of this. Or I can make a small version of this. You know? Or we could use the rest of this right here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be 5. The label is supposed to be 6. So why don't we do an offset of one of these? Yeah? Yeah. We're going to use this paper, I believe. Or this side. Or this side. I think I want to use this side. Wait, didn't I want to use this one? I did. I want to do that. Get out of here. Alright, so let's make another one of these. I'm going to make it a little shorter so it goes this way a little bit, and we'll see a little bit of that backing right here. But there won't be any holes, right? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll put a label on this one. Alright? So, again, I'm going to do this one at a little bit narrower. Just a smidge. So instead of it being 5 3/4, I'm going to do this one at 5 1/2, which means 6 1/2 wide. And the same depth of 4. Alright, so 6 1/4 this time. I'm going to keep as much of this wording as possible, so I'm going to cut from this side. 6 1/4 right here. Gonna have a lot of cool scraps to make some clusters with. And then I said what, 4 and 4. I do not waste 10 volt paper, let me tell you. I do throw away scraps, except for 10 volt scraps. Those do not get thrown away. They have a whole separate drawer all into themselves. Yes, they do. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. And you're gonna go right there. A little bit further over this way. Like that. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, grab that scoreboard again. Isn't this fun? I do love stacking some pockets. 1/2 inch all the way around. And rinse and repeat. In the intersection and out. Where's my small scissors? I want my small ones. I want my small scissors. Small scissors. In and out. Am I still recording? I am still recording. Good. Because this won't tell me when battery is about to go down, so I think we will call it a video after we get these all attached, because that will be panel 1, pretty much. Alright, let's tear it. Because why? Because I want to. You don't have to. I ain't your mama. Do what you like. If you want to keep it straight and stitch it, knock the notch out of it, whatever. Do what you like, please. This is what I like. I like it all torn up and grungy and dirty. Okay, there we go. There we go. Come on now, just shut for a second. Oh, let me do it that way. There. There, and I'm just eyeballing everything to see where it's going to go. That one's going to go there. Just to get an idea. And this one, let's do our scoring here. And if I thought about this correctly, since I made this one a little bit narrower, I can offset it from the pocket above it. And we'll have a little bit of a gap down here, which that I don't mind. Like that. Okay, so there's our stack pockets. Kind of, sort of. There's the idea. Yeah? So see how they're kind of offset here? One in the middle, and this one will go off here, this one will go off this way. This will go here, and this one will come off this way. Right? So we don't see any holes. We see the bookbinding paper, but that's the only little tiny hole we see. Now, I could take care of that with another pocket if I wanted to. But I'm not gonna. Because that doesn't bother me. What would bother me if I had that? That would drive me nuts. No. That's just looking at it makes me cringe. This doesn't bother me down here at the bottom, right? Or on the edges. But only that would drive me insane. That would never happen in any piece of my work, ever. No. Alright, so, what are we going to do next? We're going to ink all these pockets and envelopes we just made. I'm going to go stitch off camera. Then we're going to put them back on here. And then we're going to call it a night. Right? So, I'm going to put this to the side. Take some of this junk and put it in the bin. That we don't need. That's the only chip hole stuff that I'll throw away. The little triangles that pop off. Put that over there. I'm going to pause. I'll be right back. You know, I just realized we haven't inked these yet. So before we go stitching, we need to do a little inking. So if you want to watch me and how I ink my different elements, hang around. If not, fast forward. Okay, so these little flaps here also, you can cut these off. I don't. I think it gives a little more stability to the flaps, so I leave them there and I actually glue these down. Yeah? So, let's, we can go ahead and do that right now. For my envelopes, I always glue these down. I keep them. Now, whether I'm stitching or not, I always glue these down. Like that. And again, why do you ask? Because I think it gives some stability to the flap. Right? That's just my personal opinion. And I've seen some of you, some artists cut it off. I've seen some artists leave them. I leave them. All right, this one I've already inked here. This one I was working on before I realized I wasn't showing you everything. So inside again, I'm gonna keep my little flaps here, and I'm just gonna glue them down. Press that down. Here, press that down. Because sometimes I don't sew the envelopes. Just kind of depends on what kind of mood I'm in. I'm gonna ink these little edges here. I'm gonna close this. Ink my entrance real good. I'm gonna do this really dark around the edges and the corners, because we want dirty, dirty, dirty look here. So I am using black soot instead of my standard scorched timber, because I want it to be dark. Okay, I think that will work. Okay, and then so for envelopes or for pieces like this, oh, that's a scrap. I'm like, where did my flap go? Duh, that's the envelope. Where is it? There it is. I was wondering, I was like, where's this piece? I know I didn't cut it off. Anyway, so when I have torn edges like this, or even if I have a flat one or a straight edge, I do what I don't know what you want to call it, but I like to take my edge of my dauber and run it up this, like this in the entrance. It gives a little texture to it. It makes it look like it's almost folded and crinkled up there. And then I'll take my blending brush and kind of just blend out the edge down here. It just gives it a little texture, a little bit of shadow. It looks really good when you got these torn edges. If you do it in the valleys there, it makes it look a little more distressed. That's my personal opinion. I like the way it looks versus just being flat like that, right? So look at this before, right? Now let me take some ink. Okay, see where all these tears dip? Like here and here and here? That's where I'm going to focus my edge stuff on. Now look at that. Versus nothing. So in my little valleys, I will definitely do this little upstroke method. Yeah, and then I'm going to do it all the way across. It just gives it a little bit of dimension. If you look at it from, if you just glance at it and didn't know what it was, it looks like that paper's folded right there, or crinkled up here at the top. Yeah, versus the knot, right? Again, personal preference. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. I like it. I think it looks good. But that's why I do it, if you're wondering why I do that, or if you missed me doing it earlier, because I did it on the another element earlier. If you missed why or the explanation, that is why I do it. Okay, that's done. Let's get to this one here. Make sure we ink up that entrance. And those of you who have been with me a while, and those of you who are new, if you are new and wondering why in the world is she putting so much ink on the edges, that's just my thing. I like heavy inking on the edges. Those of you who've been with me for a while already know this. I'm a heavy inker. I know there's artists out there who don't ink at all, and their stuff looks great too. This is just my personal preference. If you don't like the way this looks and would experiment, see how much, what you like, what colors you like. I tend to go to the darker colors depending on, again, my mood. Right now my go-tos are black soot and scorched timber. I may throw some walnut stain in there every once in a while, maybe some espresso, but I tend to go towards the darker colors when I'm inking. And like I said, I'm a heavy inker. Heavy inker. And I always ink before I try to ink before I stitch. I don't know why I do that. I just do. Okay, let's do a little upstrokes here in the valleys of these tears. There. It's a subtle thing, but I think it makes a little bit of difference. What do they say? What's the difference between ordinary and extraordinary? Is that little something extra? Not my quote. I totally got that from the movie Waiting. If you know about that movie, you know. I don't need to explain that movie. If you've ever been a server like me, or a bartender like me, or a bar manager like me, that movie is golden, because that is exactly what server life is like. If you're a server, I would bet money you've already seen that movie. It's called Waiting. Okay. This one we didn't cut our flaps. Let's go ahead and do that now. Or mitering. Remember, we're going to cut towards the center from the fold on the ends. We're going to open it up and cut these funky little flaps off, because we don't need them. They serve no purpose but to create bulk. Serve zero purpose. And I will dare anybody to argue with me about it. Zero purpose. Alright, now let's finish this one up here. Now, I know some artists that actually put, when they put these pockets down, they like to see this part, the folds and the edges on the top. I do that sometimes, not all the time. If you are, you probably want to ink these edges as well. Yeah? But we're not doing that today. Just saying, if you were wondering. Let's do our upstreams here. There we go. Pretty, pretty, pretty dark and dirty. La 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 la. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I think we're done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Scrap. I'm missing a pocket. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What am I missing? Oh, that label pocket, the scrap pocket that we're going to do. I haven't decided yet, because I'll decide that once we put these down. Alright, I'm taking all this over to the sewing machine. I'm going to sew it, and I will be back, and we will place these down, figure out what we're going to use for that label pocket, and that'll be the video for tonight. I'll be right back. Hold, please. Alright, and we're back. Everything is inked. Everything is sewn. It is still early, so we're doing good. We're making a lot of progress quickly with this one today. Alright, let's get them in, yeah? So we're over here in panel 1 still. We got these. We've done these. Now we're going to put these envelopes in here. We're going to glue them together. Here are our envelopes sewn, and I used a straight stitch with these. Where is, aha. And now, since it went to the sewing machine, it got it flattened out a little bit, so I'm going to just give it another nice creasing here. Look for any white marks that came through with the stitching, which did up here. Okay, just checking here. Any tears that need to be done? I think we're good. Okay. So this one we're going to glue. I'm just going to grab my art glitter. My go-to for paper on paper. And here. And again, not going to the edge of, or the outer edge of the flap. Why? Those of you who are new, I never bring my glue all the way to the edge. And I'll show you why in a minute. It allows the pocket some breathing room, right? So if you have a flat pocket, I'll show you the difference in a second. Close this up. This is a gusseted pocket, gusseted envelope, what have you. It has gussets. It has these flaps, right, that give it extra room in here, right? If you just glue paper on paper with no flap, no gusset, you lose, number one, where you've put the glue on a flat pocket, right? And God forbid you put too much glue and it splooges out, so you lost even more room on the side. Now sometimes a flat pocket is necessary or called for. Not all the time. Sometimes it has its purposes. Like, I mean, I put one over there earlier, right? Because I wanted a pocket, but I wanted to reduce the bulk even more without the guts, and it didn't need a gusseted pocket. It's so shallow, right? But you see here, my glue, where the glue is, stops me right there. That's how much pocket I lose, okay? And also, you don't have that much room to add stuff to, okay? You see how far it goes? That's about it. That's all you got, right? Now with the gusseted pocket, you can see that from here. Look at this room that you get. Now this, just by not going to the edge, you see I don't go to the edge here, right there, look. It gives this pocket a little bit of breathing room. If I had gone flat, even with the gussets, I wouldn't have that much room. Okay, I have a little bit more, but not that much more. By not going to the edge of the flap with my glue, it comes up off the paper a little bit, but it's not going anywhere. It gives it just a little bit more, and it's such a difference. Look at this. I can put my whole freaking hand in here. Now, you wouldn't be able to do that if you went all the way to the edge with your glue. Okay? Try it, experiment, practice it, and let me know what you think. Trust me. It should be patented. I don't know anybody else that does that. I mean, I could be wrong. If I am, please tell me, and I will make my apologies. And that's with anything that I do. I mean, I'm sure everybody's got variations of the same techniques or just different techniques for the same kind of element, you know? But if you guys ever see me do something that you know somebody else came up with, or if I usually don't take credit for anything because I'm pretty sure somebody's done it before. But if you ever see me do that or hear me do that, call me out on it. Tell me. I mean, you don't have to be nasty about it, but just let me know. Hey, so-and-so has already done that. You know, and then provide the link, and I will be more than happy to put that link in my description and give them credit where credit is due, for sure. I am not too proud. Okay, now again with the glue. And again, making sure I'm not going to the edge, or the outer edge rather. Fold it shut. Like so. And you are done with your envelopes. Well, almost. If you're going to put magnetic closures on them, we'll do that in a minute. Or we can do that in the next video. We just do all the closures or something. Just re-inking a little couple spots here. Just some touch-up work here. Kind of forgot to do this folds. Okay. Oh, there's some washi tape on there that's not supposed to be there. Come here, you. You're not supposed to be there. Get off of there. La 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 la. Da 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 da. Make sure your glue is catching over here. So I'm going to just go right over here and press down there. One more little creasing at the top. And here are our envelopes. I'm going to go ahead and attach them before I put the magnets on, just because. I want this way or this way? I want this way. Do I want to put a hidden pocket in here? Yes, I do. So again, you'll see I'm not going to the edge here. Same reason. And we're going to make this a hidden pocket. So I'm not going to cover the whole thing with glue. Now, the problem I have with... No, you know what? We're doing it. I'm going to make a hidden pocket. I got plenty of room. In this particular folio, I made sure of it. We got plenty of room. Now, is that straight? I don't know. It is not straight. It is not. It is now. Okay. So press that down where I put the glue, and now we have a pocket right behind here. Yeah? Let that set. And we'll do another hidden pocket on this one as well. Watch your strings. You don't want to glue them behind there. Or cut them off if you don't want them. Okay, let's make sure this is straight. It is not. That's straight. I think they are straight. Yes, they are. Okay, let's press these down. And there are our grungy envelopes. Alright, let's get into the meat potatoes here. What do I mean meat potatoes? I mean the stacked envelopes, or stacked pockets that we did. Yeah? Let's get these down and see how we do. Alright. Our top pocket here. Let's give that another burnish since I went to the sewing machine. flattened itself out a little bit. Now this 49 and market paper is pretty thick, so just keep that in mind. Alright, this is what we're going to put right here in the middle of these two folds, yeah? So the folds of this spine and the fold of this gusset here. And I'm going to give it a little room from the top. So we're going to go right there. I'm going to use art glitter because we've got this stitching here. And art glitter does not do so good with the stitching and with the fabric. So we're going to grab some Fabri Tac for this one. You know what? Screw that. I think that it was such a little bit of stitching that I think the art glitter would do fine. Art glitter is my favorite glue, if you haven't noticed. One, because it dries fast like hot glue, but it sticks to everything. Except for, it has a little problem with washi tape sometimes. You gotta kind of like put a clamp on it, or I do. And it has problem with fabric. But everything else, I mean even metal, it works on. Which is why I find it funny that it doesn't work so hot against fabric, but it doesn't. It is a little bit finicky when it comes to fabrics and threads and washi. Alright, are we straight? We are. Da 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 da. Alright, string it out of the way so you don't get knotted up. Okay. Now, let's get that a nice burnish there with our little tool. And let that set. Who's next? Alright, we're going to go for the ruler paper. We need to glue this shut first. So, put a small bead on whichever is going to be your inside flap. And on the inside of your outside flap, yeah? And shut it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, yeah? And then for your bottom fold here, just on the edges, you don't want to glue your pocket shut, so be careful how much glue you use there. Okay, this one, I think I want to ink up here a little more. Yeah, it's going to go right here. Before I glue that down, I'm going to position this one as well. So let's glue this one shut. Thin bead here, a thin bead here, and then shut it. Yeah. And the edge here. And shut that. Let's get the bone over here. This paper's a little thick, so that glue can catch. Here we go. Now it's catching. Okay. I don't mind a little bit of spidge on the outside, or the smearing on the outside coming out from underneath, because this is going down that side. So you're not going to see it. Alright, this one is going to go right in here a little bit. Around and out that way. I don't want to do both of these ends so I get a little bit on the edges. I think I want to do that. And then my other, where's my other pockets? Hello? Okay. This one, come here you. I'm just throwing things everywhere. Ugh. Yeah, let me do this top a little bit more. It's not dirty enough. Not dark enough, not dark enough, not dark enough. Okay. And this one we're going to put right here. This one we're going to put right here. Like that. Down. So here we go. I changed my mind. I'm going to do it this way. So I have a little bit of the backdrop or the back page sticking out on the sides and not anywhere else. So there we go. I want that a little higher. I want to see New York there. Yep, and I can do you a little higher as well. You a little lower. And then we'll put another pocket right there. So that's what we're looking at. Alright. Cool beans. Cool beans. Alright, let's glue these buggers down. Hidden pockets? No. Not on this one. Let's make sure that closes. I mean, you could if you want to. Go ahead. What do I say? I'm not your mama. I am not going to do that. Maybe another day I would have done this. I would have, but today I don't want to. Watch out for your strings. Don't let them get glued behind your pocket. Right there. Okay, is that straight? Yep. Okie dokie. There's one. This one's gonna go right here. Now, if your strings are a little long, cut them, or don't. Just do whatever look you like. Again, we're not going to the edge. This one's going right here. Watch out for your strings. Right there. Yes. Okay. Is that straight? Yes. Next is this Auburn, New York pocket. It's going to go right there. And this one will go right here. So, yes. Okay. Give that another creasing just to be sure. Art glitter. Not to the edge. Outer edge. Okay. Blowing the strings out of the way if you're wondering what I'm blowing at. Alright, you're going to go right here. Yes. I'll try to put this flap underneath this pocket right there, like that. And then you, I don't know, I'll cover that up. I almost had a hole. Cannot have a hole. Is that straight? It is straight. Alright. Get this flap behind that pocket. So what I'm doing is I'm putting the flap behind these pockets, right? To make it lay flat. Okay. Doing good. I like it, I like it. I like it, I like it. Okay, last pocket. For this panel. How many pockets can we stack on here? Bet you if I put my mind to it, a whole heck of a lot more if I wanted to. If I felt like it. Or if we weren't doing a recreate. But we're recreating one I've already done. So, we're going to do what I did during that one. Alright. Glue the strings. Add the glue. Hope you guys are liking these videos. Da, 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 da. Okay. Last pocket. And I'm going to put that centered on this one. Yeah? Okay. I like the way these stack pockets came out. I'm not sure if it's exactly the way I did it with the other one, but no two folios are the same. I told you there may be some differences, but the techniques are here. Okay. I think that's pretty straight. There we go. Let me double check. For straightness, yes, we are straight. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stacked pockets, ladies and gents. And there we go. Just gonna run up each pocket here, make sure that they are catching well. I think that they are. Especially these ones over here that I wrapped around. Yeah? Okay. Now, what are we doing next? We're going to put a label or use a piece of scrap for here. Yeah? And I think... Nope. I got this little piece of scrap here, but it kind of blends in. I kind of want to do that. That sticks out. What else have we got? We got this little thing we could do. That looks like this. Or I can get the label like I did on the other one. Or You can go ahead and put a cluster on it if I wanted to. I could if I wanted to. Do I want to? I don't know. Do I have my labels over here? Do I have my big labels over here? Let's see what I got. Ugh. What have I got over here? Nothing that seems very big, but I do have some nameplates here that I used in last night's video that are possible. Ooh. How about that right there? Oh, ooh. With this one. There's some big ones in here. I didn't realize they were so large. They can be used as pockets, like those two. Are there any bigger ones? I don't think I have any bigger ones, but I think I like that right there. That one or this one? What do y'all think? I cut this one properly. So we got this one is like kind of a bluish rust. And then this one, I think that one just won. Alright, let's grunge this baby up. I'm going to distress the edges with my scissors. Then we're going to ink it. I want to put some tiny brads on it. I think I might. I think I might. Or what about screw heads? We could do screw heads. Not have to worry about those brad legs getting in the way or having to tape them down. Yes. Where are my screw heads? Do I have them around? Let's see. I do. Right there. Look at that. Right where they're supposed to be. Now I'm going to use, do I have 6? 1, 2, 3, 4. I do have 6 tiny ones. Look at that. Am I going to use 6 or just the 4 in the corners? Don't know. Fidgy widgets. I think I wanted to put eyelets in some of those pockets and I didn't get to. I could use screw heads. Or I can still put eyelets in some of these maybe. We'll go back and see. Shucky darn. Actually, I don't think I put eyelets in those before. But I might be able to do it now. I should have some room in there to be able to do it if I want to. I could. Or I could put brads in there or something. I don't know. But for right now, I'm going to glue this down. And we're going to use the Tim Holtz screw heads for some hardware. Yeah? Yeah. And I'm going to put this off to the side. So I'm probably going to put a cluster right there. Oh my god. I almost messed that up. Big time. Where is a piece of baby wipe that I can use to wipe this off? It's supposed to be a pocket, not a nameplate. Ah. So messed up. Almost messed up there. Get this glue off of here, and then I'm going to take my glue eraser to it. Whew. That was seriously close, y'all. I almost messed that all up. Not paying attention. Let's get rid of this glue that's on the inside here. Okay. I think we're all right now. Oof. Lordy. Edges, Tiana, it's a pocket. Pay attention to what you're doing. Come on. There we go. Crisis averted. I'll put this in the corner, like so. And there's our 6th little pocket. Right? Okay. Now, screw heads. What I'm thinking is one there, there, come on, flip over for me, there and there. Now it has one printed, 6 of them on here. Do I want to put all 6 on here? I really don't want to use all my screw heads. Why? Because then I'm going to have to buy some more. And I can't afford to buy anything right now. I like it with the 6th. Okay. Fine. Where's the top to this darn thing? I lost it. It's clear, and I don't know where it went. Where'd it go, y'all? There it is. Oh, well. I'll just have to buy some screw heads when I can. Okay. That goes in this drawer right here. There we go. Alright, so we're going to do that. I'm going to use art glitter glue because it works. And I need a set of tweezers to hold these and help flip these around. Because these, with my nails, are a pain in the booty to do now. Okay, let's see. I think I'll put glue on the spot where I want it and then just drop it on there. What do you think? Try that method? Any method? I don't know. Let's just drop it on there and see what happens. Okay, and there we go. That seems to work okay. Alright, let's move you out of the way. Put the drop of glue where I want you to go. Pick you up and drop you down. Seems to be working actually fine. This way. Huh. Don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. Okay. Even these up a little bit. There we go. Alright, moving on here. I'm just putting down a bead of glue, picking up the screw head with my tweezers, and just dropping it in the glue, like that. I don't worry about it seeping out the edges because it will dry clear and it will shrink in a little bit. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. Enough to be where it won't be noticeable. Okay. And last but not least, this guy right here. Alright, we're going to leave that to cure overnight. Clean off my glue tip here, put my pin back in. That was a lot easier doing it that way than I've ever done it before. Alright, so what did we get accomplished today? Well, a lot actually. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets here, 2 envelopes here, 1, 2, 3 faux pockets here. Added another pocket there. So we are, for all intents and purposes, done with the pockets for panel number 1. Alright, what's missing? We got to do the closures here, the magnetic closures there, and that is what we'll do. We're going to put some tabs here to indicate a pocket here, a tab here, and a tab here. We'll do that in the next video when we do the closures for this. Okay, so that is part 4, or 3, I think it's 4, of the Grungy Folio Recreate. I will see you guys in the next video. If you are new, please hit the subscribe button and the bell, and you'll get notified anytime I upload new content. In our description below will be the supplies that I used tonight in this video, as well as a link to our Etsy store, a link to our Ko-fi site where you can download free ephemera, and I just uploaded 10 vintage ledger sheets for you guys, so go get those. Totally free of charge. If you would like to donate, you're more than welcome to. Thank you for it if you are, but you don't have to. It's completely free. There's also a link for our Instagram, so if you do any makes, please tag us in Instagram. I would love to see what you guys are making. And I think that's it. Oh, and a reminder, we will be doing, as of today, I'm committing to it now, because if I won't be able to update you guys after today probably. Next Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, I will be doing a live session. For how long? Who knows? It could be 5 minutes. It could be an hour. It could be 2. Just to see how long you guys want to interact and hang out with me. I will probably be working on a project. I don't know which one yet. It won't be one of these that we've been working on in the series. It'll be something new. I've got some projects that I need to build ephemera for. So something like that, or just some crafting. Who knows what we'll do? Hang out, talk. You guys can ask me questions, yell at me, scream at me, poke fun at me, whatever. I've never done one before, so this will be fun. A learning experience. But So anyway, so next Saturday you'll have the live session as well as the lap book series. Or maybe I'll just do the live session as the lap book series. You know what? Let's do that, so that way I know what we're doing. Next Saturday, live session will be the series Saturday. We're going to be doing it live. 10 a.m. Eastern, we're going to be working on the lap book. All right? Again, one more time. Next Saturday, it is the... Crap, what day of the week is that? What's today? I don't even know. Today's so Monday. Today's Sunday, 2nd. Monday's the 3rd. Tuesday's the 4th. Wednesday's the 5th. Thursday's the 6th. Friday's the 7th. The 8th. November 8th at 10 a.m. Eastern. We're going to be doing Series Saturday live at 10 a.m. Eastern. All right? I'll see you guys there. If you like the video, hit the like button. Leave a comment. You know I love them. With your suggestions, requests, what have you. Anything. Everything. Nothing. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. I love you. Bye.